Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday's weekly wrap up. Today is Wednesday. We have football tomorrow. And in here, we really talk about NFL picks, but we also talk about the news. And the trade deadline was yesterday, so it was Halloween. So, might be eating some candy throughout this video. Crazy stuff has happened. I'm just going to talk about a few crazy bits, and we'll go ahead and start out with just Green Bay. Now, skip ahead if you don't care about Green Bay. We're not going to talk about the trade deadline until a little bit in a second. Green Bay. What the fuck is going on? Well, I don't think it's Jordan Love's fault. If you actually watch him, and I've watched every single Green Bay game this year, and I've seen improvement from him. He started out the year really, really good, throwing, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, something like that. And it's just been a lot of people bashing on him, but realistically, if you watch him play, you can see his improvement, which is exactly what I expected to see this first year, is him struggle, right? Just because he's been in the league for 3 years and he sat behind Aaron Rodgers, and you say, hey, Joe Burrow came into the league and he started right away, and all these other quarterbacks came in right away, and you know if they're good or bad. But we don't know that because the first couple games he played really, really excellently, and then the last couple games, a lot of games, he's played not so well. But if you actually look at him, he has been improving. He's been making better decisions and getting his game awareness just a little bit better every single game, not making the same decisions. And if you watched last week's game, I wouldn't say Jordan Love was the reason why we lost that. He was throwing dimes. Now, he had some, obviously he's made some not so great throws. His deep throws are really bad. And not all of them are really bad. Not all of them are his fault of why they don't get completed, because I've seen so many times that they've hit receivers' hands, or the receiver just didn't move the right way to get the ball, because we have really young receivers. So you pair him with a young receiver team. Left tackle is out. The line is banged up. And again, Aaron Jones is banged up, and Aaron Jones didn't make a play. If he made that play, guess what? That's a first down. Also, in this past game, it was great. He was getting back. He was getting attacked. He was stepping back, and he got out. He pushed a defender down, and then he made a throw, a dime. Guy caught it, toes tracked, refs. I'm not saying the refs are the reason why we lose every game, but I am saying the refs fuck over our team and fuck over a lot of different teams because they just put bad plays out there. So that play that was a 15-yarder first down, good to go, was called back because the refs were like, hey, you have a lineman down the field on the opposite side of the field that has nothing to do with why this guy's open and why Jordan Love just pushed down this guy. Nothing to do with the play, but let's call it because it's a penalty. And sure, you can make that argument that, hey, it's a penalty, shouldn't have been a penalty. But when penalties don't interact with the actual play that's going on, I don't think that they should be called because they didn't affect fucking shit. So that would have been a first down, and we had a lot of penalties, right? Average game penalty in the NFL is about 12. It's like 11.8. We had 11 penalties last game, just us, not including the other team. So we're just shooting ourselves in the foot with all these penalties. Receivers, Aaron Jones, not a receiver, but he's a really good running back that catches the ball really well. Dropped the ball. That would have been a first down. Our tight end, rookie tight end, dropped the ball. We just have a bunch of drop balls. We have a bunch of miscommunication between Jordan Love and the receivers. Not all of them are on the receiver's fault. Again, he throws deep balls with accuracy of like a coin flip. You know what I mean? Now, his only interception of the game was ripped out of our receiver's hands. And a veteran wide receiver would probably have made sure that if he couldn't catch it, no one would. But he didn't because he's a second-year receiver. So as far as the Packers go, we just got rid of Rasul Douglas, right? And that really stinks because he's the best performing cornerback on our team this year. Jair Alexander has been hurt. Eric Stokes is still on IR. We still have, I think, 3 more games before he can come back. So as far as the Packers go, this is just going to be a learning year. And it has always been just a learning year this year. But I think Jordan Love is getting better. So all those Sean Clifford fans going out there, calm your titties. Sean Clifford is a rookie coming from Penn State. I'm sure he can be an adequate backup if his name is called, but I don't want to see him out there. I want to see Jordan Love because Jordan Love has moments of greatness. He had one that he was getting tackled and threw it by his side and first down. Those plays that he can do are magical sometimes. So I just want to see him continuously develop, see his game awareness get better because he hasn't played many games. Rasul Douglas, we just traded him to the Patriots, the Bills, for a third-round pick. And our GM was talking about that it's going to clear up some money. And it's just like, sure, you're going to get rid of him, put him over to another team. It's just, we have never been really sellers at the deadline as a Packers fan, so that really sucks. But Rasul Douglas was our best corner with Jair being hurt a little bit. And it sucks to see him leave. He was on par to hit his numbers the past few years, and they've been pretty good. Not great numbers, but he's definitely a solid number 2 corner. So it's sad to see him go. Third-round pick. Who's that going to turn into? A guy that's going to be off the team in a couple years? Like, that's frustrating. But other than Rasul Douglas getting traded at the trade deadline yesterday, Montez Sweat and Chase Young from the Commanders, both their defensive ends getting traded away. One to the Chicago Bears for a second round. That was Montez Sweat, which Montez Sweat is a better defensive end. He's produced more than Chase Young. Even though Chase Young was the second overall pick, he just hasn't produced. I know he was injured for like a whole year, but he just hasn't produced on the same level that I'm sure that they expected him to. But they drafted Sweat, and then the next year they drafted him. So they had a solid defensive end group that was still fairly young. And so I don't know what the Commanders are doing. They're doo-doo dog shit. But they get a second round for Sweat from the Bears, and then they trade Chase Young to 49ers for a third-round pick. So you're not going to go those levels of players from that second and third round. I don't know what the fuck the Commanders are smoking. I really don't. The last big trade news was Joshua Dobbs. Kyler Murray's coming back, so the Cardinals didn't need Joshua Dobbs anymore. He's played pretty adequately. He's not the greatest, but Kirk Cousins got injured last week. His Achilles got torn, so he's going to be out for the rest of the year. The Vikings didn't have the greatest playoff hopes anyways, but, him being injured, we'll see what Joshua Dobbs does. I'm not expecting greatness, but at least they did something. At least they went out there and got a quarterback, not like the Jets. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers might come back. You need an improvement. Like, Joshua Dobbs would have been an improvement over fucking Zach Wilson. The Jets hurt my soul. They really do. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes back. They think he will come back, which will be incredible if he actually comes back this year. But I just don't know why the Jets didn't make that same trade for Joshua Dobbs. Or I know Jameis Winston was in the news to see if he could have been traded to the Vikings. Didn't happen. And also, like, significant news today. The first head coach got fired. Joshua, goodness, is his name Joshua? It might be Joshua. Josh McDaniels. I'm going to put that up if his name's actual Joshua. Josh McDaniels got fired. So did the GM from the Raiders. So the owner, Mark Davis, is cleaning house this year. He's like, fuck this. I'm staying with Max Crosby. I'm staying with Devontae Adams. They are my key players. We're going to move forward. We're going to get a new GM that's going to do what I want, that actually builds a real fucking team and not what the Raiders are this year. And Pat O'Donnell's going to start for the Raiders for the rest of the year as long as he doesn't get injured. So that's crazy that they got Jimmy Garoppolo, gave him a decent contract, and then fuck that dude. Fuck Joshua McDaniels, and the GM, I forget his name. But that's the biggest news of the week, is that Josh McDaniels, first coach to be fired. It's halfway through the season. I've been bad, guys. The past few weeks, I've been saying, hey, we're going to do some safe picks. We're going to pick really well. They've been dog shit. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what the NFL is. Your guess is better than mine, I'm going to say. And a flip of a coin is probably better than mine. So I messaged my girlfriend. I was like, hey, if I give you the list of the games, will you go ahead and just pick games for me? Just do whatever you think is best. She doesn't watch football. She doesn't care about football. So, of course, she picked Kansas City to win this week because of Taylor Swift. And, of course, she picked Green Bay because she's a great girlfriend. But these are the picks. Yeah, I've gone through them, and they don't really look that bad. Like, I don't think I'd be that far off from some of these, but on the year, I'm about like 55%, and I was like 63%, so my numbers have dwindled significantly over the past few weeks, so like, why not? Let's fucking do it. Let's just do it. So these are my picks. If you want them, you want to live by them, they're my girlfriends. If you win some money off of them, good for you. I would definitely go to somebody else for advice, but like, I think these are solid. I'm gonna stick with them, see how they do, and hopefully do well this week. Other than that, guys, I wish you the best. Love you guys. Check out our show every Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. Sometimes Thursday. Yeah. Thanks for watching. This is 11 minutes. Shit. Stop talking so much, Mike. God.